I would be honored to know which farming path you chose. Greetings and hello there, everyone. It's me, your Star Wars dad, Nooch Too Good. Hey, I hope you're having a great day. You're going to talk about all these farming guides that are out there. I can't talk English, it's in the morning, but you know, there are so many different ways to farm the game, and I've got my own ways of doing it. We got AP Gains is doing farming guides. We got Locators doing farming. We had a lot of people doing different farming stuff out there. So I wanted to talk today about kind of what those methods of farming the game were when you start the game and you're continuing on to the mid game. You know, what those methods of farming were, which one's best, which one do you use? I'd like to hear from you guys. Which ones of these farming methods or farming options are you using for your game? How are you farming? What are you using as your guide? And of course, we start with an Executor rush. It's kind of become a common thing. You know, go get that Executor, get your hyperdrive bundle, go to the Executor. Along the way, you get your troopers, your bounty hunters, you get some teams along the way, and you get a ship that's going to work for you in Fleet Arena early on, and a ship that's going to hold for you in Grand Arena. So an Executor rush. We're going to take a look at all these different ones here that we're showing to you and look at the pluses, minuses, benefits, challenges of these farming journeys. So Galactic Legend rush, you know, going straight for Galactic Legend. How smart is that anymore? Is it smarter than it used to be? Is it less smart? How are we looking at Galactic Legend rush? And I've done several on this channel. I've done a Kylo rush. I did a Sith Eternal rush. You can go watch both those playlists and watch through them. They're a little over 9 months for each rush, free to play. And now we're trying to go for Jabba to see how long it takes to get Jabba. Core teams, the core team farming idea come up with by AP Gains. That's his deal. It's been his deal for a long time. Kind of started back in the days of the original original Grand Arena. We'll talk about that too. Assault battles. Hey, this is, and I've seen people doing this, just farming the assault battle teams where they can max out all the assault battles, then you move forward to the rest of your farms. I think it's actually an interesting idea. Hybrid, combining some of these, and then choose your own adventure, just doing whatever you want to do. Let's start taking a look at these right now with the Executor rush. So, you know, going straight for that Executor is, I did it on my hyperdrive account. It's been a benefit for me. I'm not sure it is the absolute best way to go, but that said, if you're starting off the game and you're starting with a hyperdrive bundle, you're starting a new account with a hyperdrive bundle, or even without it, and you go for the Executor and get the Executor on your roster as fast as possible, that would put you in a newer Fleet Arena. Now, if you're reactivating a game from a long time ago, like you played 4 or 5 years ago, and maybe even 3 years ago, and you're going to be reactivating a game, coming and starting up from where you left off at the time, maybe Executor's not the way to go for you, although it might be the easiest thing for you to get based on what teams you've got on your roster. You're in a deep, experienced Fleet Arena where you might have Leviathans at the top, and if you only get a 4-star Executor to start with, you're probably looking at all 7-star Executors in the top 20. It's going to be tough for you to break into that top 20 with an Executor if you're in an experienced, established Fleet Arena on an account that was opened, you know, years ago and coming back to it. But a new player, you will be in a new Fleet Arena, and climbing to the top of Fleet Arena is where you get crystals in the game, and that's where I think the Executor rush makes a lot of sense for a new player, maybe an experienced player. It's a great ship actually to have in Grand Arena. It actually has helped me climb up from Carbonite all the way up to Bronzium, you know, by just getting the Executor on an Executor rush. So it does make a difference holding that back territory. The question you got to think about is it best for you in Fleet Arena with the age of your roster? So some things to think about with the Executor rush. You do get along the way bounty hunters, Imperial troopers, and that leads you right to CLS once you get done with the Executor. I also like to see Geos. So you've done up with some really good teams in there. You can farm Wampa on the side because you don't need that get currency, you don't need that raid currency. For anything else, just go get Wampa, get yourself an extra team along. Maybe even Savage and as I've done, Enfys Nest. So anyway, that's the Executor rush. You want to see an example of that, go watch my hyperdrive account from the beginning. We rushed toward it, got it in 6 months with hyperdrive and a little bit extra money. Galactic Legend rush. As I said earlier, I have rushed Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. I started that in December of 2020, finished it in September of 2021, actually got the Ultimate in October 2021. I did a Sith Eternal rush on this channel. It took us 9 months. I think it was just under 9 months to unlock Sith Eternal. another couple of weeks to get his ultimate. So there you go. You can get a Galactic Legend in the 9-month range, free to play. If you do a Hyperdrive bundle, you're probably looking at more like 5 to 6 months for one of those early Galactic Legends. The reason I got Sith Eternal, Kylo, Rey, and now Galactic Legend Leia on the screen is because they're really going to be the lowest hanging fruit here, right? When you look at, I use that phrase a lot, lowest hanging fruit. If you're going through and you're picking apples or you're looking for oranges or lemons, whatever, what are you going to pick? Well, the first stuff you're going to grab is the lowest hanging fruit, right? The stuff at the top of the tree you leave for later when you got a ladder or a crane of some sort, depending on how tall the tree is. So, lowest hanging fruit. These guys are all really super available as Galactic Legends for rushing because they don't have a lot of journeys. They might have 1 or 2 easy-ish journeys on the way. They don't have a lot of super high relics. You don't need a truckload of Kyrotechs, except probably Leia. Leia you're going to need a lot of Kyrotechs for, but the other 3 you don't need a lot of Kyrotechs for. You'll get some ships along the way. These are just the easiest farms. Now, that is all kind of changing a little bit, and that's why I'm rushing Jabba right now on a free-to-play account. I want to see how long it takes. I still think it's going to take longer than the 9 months it would take you to get Sith Eternal, Kylo, or Rey. But, you know, it's a lot more available now with the guild activity currency being available. You can get Wampa and Rebel Officer Leia Organa and Hermit Yoda a lot faster now than you could have done, you know, 4 months ago when that changed. So, a lot of good things going on. Maybe those are coming, but for now, I want to point out the ones you can farm without doing a lot of really difficult journeys, without doing a ton of Kyrotechs, again, except for Galactic Legend Leia. That's going to have 4 characters that need a lot of Kyrotechs, the minimum 4. Everything. Does Chupio need a bunch of Kyrotechs? I haven't looked at that, but anyway, these are the ones traditionally you thought of. We may be putting Jabba and Jedi Master Luke into the mix as well, but we're going to find out about that. That's why I'm doing the Jabba Rush right now, to see how that Rush account goes. We'll find out. But rushing Galactic Legend, the pros, you get a Galactic Legend, you throw it on the front wall in Grand Arena, you climb to the top of Squad Arena. Who really cares about that? You got an automatic squad. You can do autos in dark side or light side Geonosis territory battles. You can succeed in territory wars. You do a lot of great things with Galactic Legend Rush. The drawbacks are you kind of limit your teams. You know, if you do that Sith Eternal Rush, you're sitting there with some random Sith. You know, maybe you get Savage Opress along the way to add to it, but that's adding to it. You know, you're going to end up with, you have part of the Imperial Trooper squad, you got to go get the rest of it as well. You'll get Palpatine, you're going to get Vader along. So there's just maybe some partial farms involved. Kylo and Rey actually come with a couple of complete farms, with a couple of complete First Order teams, especially now with Omicrons. But you do end up with a lot of extra farms you have to take along the way with those rushes. Like with Lord Vader, you're going to get a Bad Batch team. Jedi Knight Kenobi, you probably are waiting a little bit to do that anyway because of like Watt Shards you got to get. So, you know, you're going to have more teams developed along the way. And rushing. So rushing just leaves a lot of teams in the background that you could have farmed along the way. You could have meandered a little bit to that Galactic Legend. Ended up with more like a Padme team, a full Geo team, your full Imperial Trooper team. You know, you could have farmed a bunch of those teams along the way. And let's talk about those teams with core teams. Now it was AP Gaines' idea. He came up with it back in the day when it was Grand Arena Championship, when it really was a championship. You started off every Grand Arena season, which was 4 weeks. You started off down in Carbonite, and you climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed until you were trying to break into Kyber at the end of the season. And AP found this farming guide at the time where he was climbing over all these people by doing these great teams that were performing in Grand Arena, so he was getting to Kyber every single round of Grand Arena. It was really cool. Now, they changed Grand Arena along the way. They did put crystals in there, they put crystals in there for all of us. My brain went to gems for whatever reason, but they put the crystals in there, but then they changed the format where you're actually placed in Grand Arena according to your overall performance. So a lot of us who are working really hard at Grand Arena are out there with 1 and 2 million rosters, playing 4 and 5 and 6 million rosters. It is what it is. We are starting to see some rosters right now that are climbing up into Kyber by maybe having some kind of core team mixed with a Galactic Legend, maybe doing fleets, maybe not. It's really interesting to see the different kinds of teams, the different kinds of rosters that can make it up to Kyber now. I'm kind of an education for me here in the last week or so. I'm really seeing a lot of different types of rosters going into Kyber. But basically the idea is you get your Palpatine Vader team, you get Celeste, Padme, Gas, Grievous, Boss, you get your Bounty Hunters, you get your Revans. I put Wampa in there. That's the first 8 are the core 8. But, you know, you get these teams before you go get a Galactic Legend. It makes your roster deep and functional. Whereas if your opponent has rushed a Galactic Legend, they're going to be the really top heavy, really a big Galactic Legend, then not much below it. So it performs really well. It can be a great strategy, and it sets you up for a bunch of GL rushes, Galactic Legend rushes, after you get done with your core team. So it's really interesting. In the back of the day, it was Kylo that was the choice as the first Galactic Legend. Now I think it is more like the Jabba, Jedi Master Luke, Leia rush, and you're going to be in there with the CLS team. If you get Wampa, you can get Wampa, Rebel Officer Leia Organa, and Hermit Yoda along the way. You'll be set up for that Jedi Knight Luke farm, which gets you to all three of those basically. So yeah, the benefits are you get this deep roster. The pullback is you don't have a Galactic Legend. So, you know, it's really difficult, maybe impossible in a lot of instances, unless you have all these teams and you've got a way to do it, to get through those Galactic Legends that somebody throws in the front line in Grand Arena. So you're struggling to get through that. And really, you know, that's the challenge. You're running as the way Grand Arena is right now. You're always punching up, right? If you're watching this video, you're probably working hard at Grand Arena. You're always punching up. The person you're playing has a better roster than you, so you have to have a way to get through that roster. So you need to have some Galactic Legend counters in there. Maybe you mix this in with, now we got some of these conquest characters. We've seen that be successful. Star Killer, maybe. I don't know, but the core team strategy is there. Get you those teams before you go get your Galactic Legend. Thanks, AP Gains. We move on to Assault Battles. So I don't think a lot of people are talking about this. I think if I started a new account today, I might do this. It's kind of a core team idea combined with get all the Assault Battles done. If you take a look there, Places of Power, you need your Sith for that. You know, for the Endor and the, and I'm not getting the names right, it's kind of tiny on my screen over here, I can't really read. But you know, the Endor battle and the Rebel Roundup, you use Imperial Troopers for both of those. You can use your CLS team for the Imperial Might, is that what it's called? I truly can't read it. Imperial Might or whatever. Now the CLS team, that's probably the easiest one to get to the max, you know, the tier 3 of that one, which is really important. Night Sisters for Secrets and Shadows. You got your Jedi Knight Luke that's required to get to the end, to get to the final tier of the Dooku one. I can't remember what that one's called. Separatist Might? Separatist something. And then of course the Inquisitors. That's Undying Affection. I don't know. You need your Inquisitors to get to tiers. So let's talk about the Assault Battles. When you get to the final 3 tiers of the Assault Battle, Challenge Tier 1, Challenge Tier 2, Challenge Tier 3, you're getting a lot of gear, relic type of gear, Zetas, everything else that is going to benefit you on your path to long-term farming for Galactic Legends and every character in the game. Characters in this game are not finished and not complete until they are relicked. Right, that's just the way the game works right now. You can get some use out of some Gear 12 characters on the right teams and in the right place where they're not going to get smoked by an AoE early on. But, you know, Challenge Tier 1 gets you all of the I don't know what they're called, but the building materials for the final piece in Gear 12 and get you some Chirotechs as well. Challenge Tiers 2 and 3 get you all of the relic materials that you need, all of your the stuff you got to farm in the cantina, about the signal data, and some other relic materials as well that you need to push forward your characters to high relic levels. And if you're doing so if you do all these every month, let's add it up: 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 of them. Twice for Inquisitors every month. 8 of them, and you do the Tier 2 and Tier 3 of each one. We're gonna get 6 of each of those. So 6 times 8, 48 pieces every month. I mean, it's just, it's an interesting farm. And by the way, getting Inquisitors early might get you into a top tier guild or a higher level guild that's trying to get Reva shards right now. They might say, hey, your roster's not where we need it to be as a guild. You know, we're only accept 6 million rosters in here, but you're at 2.5 million and you've got the Grand Inquisitor. Please come join our guild. We'll happily carry you along. I know the Gerbil did it, but you got the Grand Inquisitor. You can get us those Reva shards, and we want those Reva shards because Reva is super important right now. She's amazing in the game. So getting those Inquisitors early can really lead you high as far as punching up higher to a better guild early in the game to get you a lot better rewards from all those territory battles, good territory wars, just great stuff from your guild. Hey, Night Sisters, you gotta, by the way, for the Night Sister one, you gotta farm Marin. If you want to get past Tier 2 of that, and even Tier 2 is difficult, Marin makes the whole thing just go like butter. farm Marin for that one. The other one's the CLS one, just the basic CLS, Han Solo, Chewpio, Chewbacca, 3PO. That team is going to get to tier 3 of that assault battle, and you can even have like 3PO and Chewpio, like gear 12, maybe even, I don't know, gear 11, but the Imperial Troopers can get to tier 3 of both those assault battles with the right teams mixed in. Hey, if you want somebody that's going to really help you walk through this, go check out Bit Dynasty. Bit Dynasty, Scribe Gaming, those are channels that really have great walkthroughs of these assault battles, tier 2, tier 3. They're going to show you how you can walk through these. They go step by step. They look at the teams. They give you the turn order. They give you the mods they're using. They're really good at walking you through these assault battles. Go check out those channels. They're great. The Scribe Gaming, Scribble's on there, and Bit Dynasty, really good for these assault battles. What are we looking at next? If my computer, I'm telling you guys, I need a computer. There we go, the hybrid model. Hey, if you've made it to this point of the video and you haven't subscribed to the channel, you haven't liked the video, please do so. It makes Mrs. Nooch happy. It makes me happy. I'll be honest. I always attribute it to Mrs. Nooch. It makes me happy. I love seeing likes in the videos. It helps me get out there more for YouTube to show more of my videos to everybody. The subscribe will get me into your feed more. Just help support the channel. Make your life better. Like and subscribe today. Your family will thank you for it. Hey, the hybrid method. I think this is the way most people are going right now. You farm a bunch of core teams. You know, maybe you farm Bounty Hunters, Imperial Troopers, CLS, and Padme. You get yourself a Wampa. Then from there, you pivot over to the Executor. And then from there, you pivot over to your Galactic Legend. I think this is the farming team path that most people are following right now, kind of combining some of the core teams. You know, you can pick and choose. You can mix in there. Maybe you put gas in instead, well, not instead of Padme. That doesn't make any sense. You do Padme and gas, but you do gas instead of CLS. Maybe instead of the Troopers, you're doing a Rogue One team, and that's going to get you to Profundity. Although for Profundity, you got to have the Falcon to work in the team once it's done. To get the Falcon, you got to have Bounty Hunters anyway. Regardless, you do a hybrid, and then you eventually go get your Galactic Legend. So mixing and matching, finding the best core journeys for you. I do think you need to get a Galactic Legendary roster pretty early on, as early as possible now. I have climbed up into Bronzium without one, with just the Executor and a bunch of other, you know, I got CLS, Imperial Troopers, Bounty Hunters, I got Geos in there, I got my Wampa, I got Savage Repress, I got Memphis Nest. That's got me into Bronzium. I don't think I'm going to make it into Erodium without that Galactic Legend. We'll see. I'm really pushing for it. I might be able to make it happen, but I'm just in Bronzium. I'm already running up against rosters that have 2 or 3 Galactic Legends, and they throw them all on defense, and then it's like, well, I can't get through that. And it's like, well, how are you in Bronzium? But that's a whole separate question. But the hybrid method, and we're even seeing a lot of success. You know, I'm talking to people here lately, you know, farming, saving up crystals, and farming those conquest characters. Those conquest characters, Commander Ahsoka, Darth Malgus, Maul, those 3 especially are coming in really, really handy for early game. You know, if you farm up your Sith Empire, you get your Padme team out there with a cat on it, it's really, really good. Sith Empire with Darth Malgus in charge. You get a Mandalorian team with Maul out there. You throw Maul on some other team just to really make a huge difference on that team. It makes a big difference for those mid-game rosters, and maybe will allow your mid-game roster to climb all the way to Kyber. We've seen it. Mixing Starkiller in there is a great way to do a hybrid. He's really, really good if you get his full team going. You know, farming Starkiller is not exactly farming Starkiller. There's other stuff you got to farm in addition. But it's just, he's basically on in Grand Arena. He is an offensive Galactic Legend. So just some greats. And Malgus is similar. A defensive Galactic Legend or close to it on Grand Arena, so really good for you. But the hybrid method, I think, is the way most people are going these days. Then, hey, maybe you just go your own way. Maybe you're just going to go for, like we just talked about, Starkiller, Malgus. You're going to go get the Inquisitors. You're just going to get Jedi Knight Luke. You're going to get Dr. Aphra. You're going to go farm for gas, and you're going to do Lord Vader as your, you know, rush Lord Vader, which is probably the Lord Vader and Jedi Master Kenobi are definitely the 2 most challenging Galactic Legends to rush right off the bat. Used to say Jabba and Luke along with that, but now it's just Lord Vader and Jedi Master Kenobi. You're gonna go get yourself a Profundity. Maybe you're gonna go get yourself a Leviathan right off the bat. Maybe you're not gonna do any journeys. You're just gonna go, I don't know, that's not a very smart thing, but you're gonna go do Jedi Training Rey, and then you're gonna go do, I don't know. Maybe you got your own way. The thing about Jedi Knight Luke and that is it kind of sets you, if you do all those, let's say you did Starkiller, then you went and invested a bunch of crystals in Malgus and got the Sith Empire team, and you got your Inquisitors, you farmed Dr. Aphra, and then at the end of the day, you got your Profundity. End of the day, you farm Jedi Knight Luke. Well, Jedi Knight Luke sets you up for this big, huge trifecta path. You're gonna get, and you've already farmed Profundity, by the way, in this scenario. So you're gonna go get, then you'll go get Jedi Master Luke, you'll go get Jabba, you'll go get Galactic Legend Leia. You don't need Jedi Knight Luke for Galactic Legend Leia, but you do need CLS and 2PO. You need the Ewoks that you need for 3PO to get Jedi Knight Luke. So a lot of things in there are going to combine and converge for you in that Galactic Legend farm once you're done with that. And there you go, boys and girls. Let me know in the comments, which path are you farming? How are you doing your farming path? I think most of us are on a hybrid, but I'd like to hear the path you took. Give me some specifics. Did you go Geos into CLS, into Padme, or did you get the Grievous team first? What did you do first? What was your farming path? What farming path are you on? Where are you in the game? Hey, even if you're an end gamer, where did you get to that end game? You're in Kyber right now, but you got a mid-game roster. How did you get there? What are you doing? Tell me about it. I'd love to hear about it. Maybe make a video down the line for it. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a great day. We'll pop a couple videos up there for you to watch as well. I will talk to everybody soon. And of course, always remember, Nooch Too Good.